What was discussed is unclear, but on Thursday there was finally a meeting between Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan and US President Donald Trump in New York. The two leaders addressed the United Nations General Assembly, but an expected sit-down meeting between them didn't materialize, despite Erdogan repeatedly insisting that he was unhappy with the current state of play in northern Syria.
Tüm terör örgütlerine aynı mesafeden bakan bir anlayışı yerleştirmeden Suriye meselesine kalıcı çözüm bulamayız. Amerika Birleşik Devletleri ile burada bir güvenli bölge oluşturulması konusundaki görüşmelerimiz sürüyor.
Turkey and the US have agreed to a safe zone on the Syrian side of the border with Turkey. It would potentially serve as a buffer zone, protecting Turkey from attacks from inside Syria. But apart from a few joint patrols, there isn't much evidence that Ankara and Washington have agreed how big the zone will be and how the two sides will cooperate. Erdogan has in the past few weeks threatened to unilaterally push into northeastern Syria if the current safe zone isn't expanded. Trump didn't comment on the safe zone at the UN, but at an event earlier this week, he referred to Erdogan in friendly terms.
With us today is Pastor Andrew Brunson, who was imprisoned in Turkey for a long period of time. Last year, my administration was thrilled to bring him back home after a very short and respectful negotiation with a very strong man, and a man who's become a friend of mine, fortunately, President Erdogan of Turkey.
The Brunson affair was one of the low points in Turkish-US relations over the past few years. But despite clear differences between Turkish and US policy, a rapport appears to have developed between Erdogan and Trump. That's reflected in Trump's apparent willingness to avoid further sanctioning Turkey over its S-400 missile deal with Russia. And that might even involve reversing the decision to suspend Turkey's involvement in the F-35 fighter jet program.
I'm hopeful we can get a more strategic relationship with Turkey. It's important. Try to get them back in the F-35 program. Maybe talk about a free trade agreement because Turkey's a very important ally.
That may show that Erdogan's policy on the S-400 deal is working. And while that may be positive, there are always potential problems lying around the corner. For example, Turkey has stayed close to Iran, despite US opposition. Most recently, Erdogan refused to blame Tehran for an attack on Saudi Arabian oil facilities earlier this month.
Well, I don't think it would be the right thing to do to blame Iran. We need to recognize the fact that attacks of this scale come from several parts of Yemen. But if we just place the entire burden on Iran, it wouldn't be the right way to go because the evidence available does not necessarily point to that fact.
Turkey's attempt to position itself between Iran and the US is more evidence that Ankara wants to emphasize its foreign policy independence. But keeping all sides happy might prove to be difficult. Abubakr al-Shamahi, Straight Talk.